warm welcome to this webinar series. This is the third webinar and the third episode. Today is 24th of July. We are very happy to present our three alumni today. And we're going to start with our first speaker. Our first speaker, our presenter is Peggy. Peggy holds a Bachelor of Science Nursing degree with MAHSA University, and she has worked with private hospital and corporate companies for many years before joining Hanel Consulting as a training manager. And she also provide the first aid and basic life support trainings. Currently, she is actively involved in the COVID vaccination program in Malaysia. You can see her with the PPV. She actually applied for leave to attend this webinar. Unfortunately, she was called up again to work today, so she is obliged to continue her presentation. And we happy to have her for the first speaker. I would like to add about Peggy. She is a recipient of Gold Chancellor Award in year 2011. And she also first class honor in 2018 her degree, Bachelor of Science in Nursing. She has experience in the geriatric care, oncology, daycare and patient coordinator at the International Patient Center, a private medical center. As a nurse there in the International Patient Center, a private medical center with over 30 beds in Kuala Lumpur. Subsequently, she joined the United Nations affiliated with intergovernmental organization and was the lead nurse for pediatric health and malnutrition, child and adult infection disease. And without further ado, I would like to invite Peggy to give her presentation. Welcome, Peggy. Okay, I think there's some network problem at Peggy's area. I am sorry for this. However, we can continue with the second speaker first. She is Harini, and she is a compassionate and competent registered nurse. And she is currently attending cardiac unit as a full-time registered nurse while pursuing her master degree. I have always had a passion for helping others and making a difference, and by becoming a nurse. This is Harini, about Harini. I love to read her biodata here. And she had done a lot of quality improvement which she will share with us. And Harini is now in Singapore, and she was a diploma student, and she also will be able to share her professional journey. And without further ado, please welcome Harini. Harini, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Harini. I'm actually full-time registered nurse, senior registered nurse in Ng Teng Fong General Hospital in Singapore. I came here when I was 21 years old, right after I was graduated from MAHSA. And yeah, ever since that I'm attached to this hospital. And yep, if I have to critically reflect on my career journey in profession in nursing, then I will take it as a journey instead of destination, because I don't want to be stagnant in just one place. So what I did was I took it as a journey ever since when I was in MAHSA. Every time when I studied, there is always a posting. So I travel all around Malaysia to do and complete my posting. So likewise, it happens when it comes to my career. So there is actually a few slides that I've actually prepared, and I'm going to go through the slides with you. So this is the place that I'm working now. It's actually a brand new hospital, and it's already 10 years I'm in this organization. And basically, this is what I'm going to go through for the next 15 minutes. This is me. I was born in Penang and migrated in Singapore after my diploma graduation in 2012. I'm actually single. My father is also single. uh, I'm a family oriented person, and I can spoke really well, and I actually a very good team player, fun loving person, and I have been a self volunteering person, and I've been helping this MMI care association in Malaysia, which they helps in more of NGO related stuff. Okay, this is my background history. I have actually done diploma in MASA, and then back after that, I wanted to complete my degree. Unfortunately, due to financial issues, I have to come back to work. And then when I was in Singapore, I actually pursued my degree, and then I continued, and then my hospital actually invited me, sponsored me to do advance in diploma medical surgical. So I studied in NYP for about 8 months. After my graduation, I continue to study my master. So now I'm doing master in healthcare nursing, healthcare and research. So I will love to come back to MASA again to start my PhD. So basically, when it comes to professional experiences, like I said, I don't want to take nursing as a journey, destiny, but I want to take it as a profession, journey instead. So I actually go into every single licensings to experience and enhance myself into their skills and learn as much as I could, because I at the end of the day I don't want to be someone who's really empty. I want to be someone who's really, really like turun padang kind of nurse and do my things, and I know what I'm doing. So basically, there's a lot of courses that I've attended in my hospitals. I've become an auditor for infection control licensing, and then I've become an auditor for fall medications and discharged and perform. I also have
Yeah.
performed quality improvement project.
Excuse me, Harini. I think
Yes.
the slide is not being shared. You would like to share the screen?
Oh, really? I thought
Yeah.
I'm.
So they love
Okay.
to see your slide.
Oh, okay. I'll go back to my slides. Okay. Since I've, can you see my slide now?
Maybe you go from the first. Ah, yes. Now okay.
Okay. Okay. I will jump back again. So this is the hospital that I'm working for 10 years already. But this is a brand new hospital for the last 5 years, and this is what I will go through you. And this is myself. Okay, I look more younger now, but the picture was taken back in 2013. So basically, I'm single, like I told previously, and I always come back to Malaysia to do inspirational talk and help a lot of people. And this is my background history, the educational background, the professional experiences that I had, and the professional development that I've actually encountered for the last 11 years of working in nursing. So basically, now I'm actually a credential trainer for NGMR. This is a next generation electronic medical record that has been launched in Singapore. So I have been teaching a lot of nurses in the ground how to hands-on on this system. Well, this is very standardized. Unlike what we're doing now back end, it's no more paper. It's paperless. It's no more how we document the intake output in paper, but it's more into his system now. And that is the latest graduation that I've done. Now I'm actually studying my master in healthcare and also research based, and I want to come back to do my PhD in MAHSA. So, well, this is my family. I have to tell about my family because they have been a great support for me for last couple of years. If you can see in this picture, the middle is my father, and the rest of them, seven of them, is actually my siblings. They have been my pillar because they have never stopped me do what I want to do in nursing. They always allows me to go and explore and achieve what I want, even though I'm far away from them, because all of them is in Malaysia now and only myself in Singapore. They have never give up in me, and I'm pretty sure none of them is actually missing me going live in this page today. Okay. Okay, this is about me. So when it comes to nurses, in reality, everybody is aware that right after you graduation, you actually will go through a probation period that have where you will be attached to this preceptor or mentor. It will be a very tough time because when you migrated to other hospitals or other country to actually work, you might not know this person is from which department or which career background. So it's a bit complicated as nurses in the reality in the beginning itself. So you have to actually build the rapport among your preceptor and also mentor for you to overcome the probation period, after which you will confirm, and then you have to be independent, and from there you have to be someone who's really strong enough to take care of your patient by yourself, and you have to be really smart to know your patient and to give them the holistic care in order for them to be discharged healthy from the hospitals. So when it comes to challenges as an individual, I will actually divide this into two things: as an individual and also as a group. When it comes to challenges as an individual, there's a lot of differences. Where you sometimes you might not feel happy with your job satisfactions. You might be graduated in a very flying colors, and you wanted to be a ortho nurse, but you might not be placed in an ortho ward. You might be placed in a cardio ward. So this job satisfaction might not be there, but along the way, if you take it very positively, I'm pretty sure you can nail it, because you is the one who can actually motivate and empower yourself. So when it comes to group challenges, especially when you're working with other colleagues, it's very important for you to give respect and earn respect. At the same time, if you never play a role as a team member, um, it's a bit very hard when the circumstances arise where you need help, people might not be helping you. So it is very important when it comes to nursing that you be positive, and then you work as a team with other colleague members, because when it comes to nursing, it's not a one man show, but it's a one family show. Okay, the other key challenges I will say is the nature of the job. It's a bit tough. Now everybody can tell you that the manpower is being a big demand everywhere in the all around the world, and we are actually 24/7 active, because I know as nurses we are always willing to be in the ground to help people when the MC rate is high, when they are calling us back on shift. I'm pretty sure all the nurses want to be there to help the other team members, because we don't want any nurses to be burnout or getting depressed to be in nursing line. So other things that I would like to highlight about the key challenges in nursing will be the public perceptions, because majority of the publics will be thinking that, oh, nurses are just doing the job for the sake of money. No, it's not that. I might be my father's no my father's favorite daughter in the house. I might not be doing anything in the house, but when it comes to hospital, I am the one who lead the nurses in the ground. So the public's perception has to be changed by you presenting how nursing have actually molded you in your career line or in your journey. So this is me. If you can see, that was the picture that was taken in Masa in a hospital GH when I was 2000. I was posted to HKL in a GS ward in 2018, and the uniform is my hospital currently that I'm working at. This was taken about 5 years ago, and now I look pretty younger than both this picture. Okay, my work style is a open door policy and highly approachable. I'm a person who even though I've actually gained 10 years of experience, I'm a person who's still learning. I will still go into the ground because I felt like my juniors might know more than what I have been handling, and my seniors also do does know more than what I have been handling. So I believe in myself, and I also believe in my colleague because. In order to get things done, you have to trust, you have to have this trust among your teamwork to complete this to complete this care plan for this patient for a stipulated time. And I always believe in vulnerability and also transparency, because when it comes to nursing, there's no way, there's no shortcut, there's no lie. You have to be very transparent. I'm a very good listener. I respect every individual. I'm very flexible even on my off days. If you call me to replace a staff or call me back to to be in the ground, I will definitely go. And the sense of urgency for me to get to know something, to learn something, is always in me, that always derive me to be in nursing for for a long period of time. There's never a day that I actually give up, or never a day that I've called my family and says that no, I'm not going to do this, I am not into this. I love my job and I actually love what I'm doing. So now I'm no longer a senior nurse. I'm no longer just a staff nurse. I'm already become a senior nurse. So I have a leadership style in me where I believe that as a leader, you cannot be a boss. You cannot be just instructing people to do the task. But I believe that you should at least advise them, and you can guide them along the way. So I want people to be doing the right things right at the right that particular time, because when the time passes, there's no way that you have can pull back the same time again to redo. So don't hesitate to make tough decisions, because if when the circumstances of a tough decisions, a tough situation arrive, that's where you have to critically think and then to make a tough decision. I know sometimes it's very hard when you are all alone to do the task by yourself, but eventually along the way, definitely we will learn. so high on empowerment, ownership, and accountability has to be there. Otherwise, it's very hard for you to empower other young nurses to be someone like you or someone better than you. And don't just tell, but you have to be showing me, because I don't like people just tell us to, "Oh, you have to do this," but I also want to see if the policy is there, if the research have been done of this quality improvement project, something like that. So I always believe that don't just tell me, but you show me. I want to see the fact. That would be really good for me, because I learn from there, especially from my preceptors and preceptees. So, like I said, I take nursing as a journey. So, I also have my stipulated time. So, where I actually apply this strategy and approach to train on smart model. When it comes to this smart model, is actually it's about you planning your career goal. So, basically, for me, I've decided during the pandemic that I just don't want to just stay home. I want to pursue my studies. So, I what I did was I already enrolled in this course, and I told myself I must give my 100% concentrations and attendance to this course, and I must score with a flying color, so that and I can finish in this stipulated time. So when it comes to nursing, it's likewise, it goes to everybody. You don't anyhow just work just like that. You have to have your own goal. You have to have your own planning for yourself as a nurse, where or in these years I have to achieve my discharge coordinator course. I have to finish my degree, and then I have to go for specializing course, which you are passionate about, and then you come back and then you complete your task, and then subsequently you plan your career accordingly. So for me personally, I believe that smart tools have actually helped me very well, and I feel very satisfied every time I actually tick this my tick box in my bucket list. Second tool is when it comes to time management, I believe that I'm kind of good at it, and I believe that every nurses has to be really good at time management, because you want to go back on time, because you also have a life to live. So you don't want to drag yourself being in a hospital, because it will burn out. Eventually, you will be stressed, you will be depressed, and then you'll come back home alone and you will cry. So if for me, what I will advise is have a proper time management, where you can actually plan your time accordingly. So this slides that I'm showing you now is actually a four quadrant of time management. It has been there's a lot of research on these tools, that it's important for you to actually plan about the crisis and emergency, to actually plan something which is preventive and it is not important. So if you know that today you have to go work and you have 12 patients to take care, you give the priority for the 12 patient. Out of 12 patient, if there's one is or deteriorating, you give more attentions to the deteriorating patients compared to the rest of the 11 patients. So you know how to stabilize your time, how to give priority to the most important patients and subsequently the lesser who might need your attention. Nevertheless, all patients remain the same to you, but it's the time management, the priority you give them to bring them back alive is more important. And it's also important for your self-care because you want to go back home on time, you need some rest. So this quarter of time management will help you to plan or to study on how to apply this time management. The next thing I will say is communications. Communication skills is very important regardless you young or senior or super senior in your any profession, because if you have a miscommunications in your career development, it will might lead to some misunderstanding. So communication skill is very important, especially when it comes to a senior, when it comes to young junior nurses, when it comes to student, when it comes to professor, or case coordinator or clinical instructor. There's these 5 steps that you actually have to implement, where you never talk over people. So you listen to them, you actually give respect to them because they might have something to tell you. Eventually you can actually put in your own inputs, and then don't finish other people's sentence, let them talk. Because you don't like people to finish your sentence, you actually wait for other people to finish their sentence, then you come up with your own opinion. And then when it comes to stress, when it comes to third step, sorry, I cannot see the paraphrasing are great tools, and then re-emphasizing the statement by highlighting the key messages. You don't want to be dragging like I don't want to be a senior who giving feedback to my nurses for about 1 hour 2 hour, because it's exhausting. We might not be giving them a key point. So what do you do is make it sweet and simple. You just talk to them in a way that they should understand what you are actually giving them. So comprehend your sentence in a very nice, sweet and simple way for you to deliver a message and for them to get it nicely. And then listen actively when you are going to an when you are going for a maybe a forum or a presentation. You listen to them, you listen to the speaker, and you engage and respond to other person based on the conversation. And lastly, the most important thing is eye contact. We don't want us be talking to people like looking at the sky, right? We want to have eye contact because that is the great bonds. We will create awareness on the discussions. We'll be like enjoying the conversations without we knowing it, because eye contact plays a part when it comes to communication skills. And other things that I would like to emphasize when it comes to nursing will be the motivation among team members. So motivation is very important. This is just one of the tools that I've actually derived from our resources, our internet resources. Basically, this is a approved tool. So when it comes to communication among team members, it's better to have you communicate to your team members, because you don't want to run the show all alone. You need to speak to your team members so that you guys work together to achieve the same goal on the day. So this is what you all actually can actually look through. So okay, come back to me and myself. When I was in nursing, I told myself, every patient who I take care, they always tell me, whoa, you're so beautiful, you have a nice figure, might as well you go into a pageant or in stewardess. But I was telling myself that nursing is my passion. Nursing is what I wanted to do. I love to help people and I love what I'm doing. So I give myself a try to go into the pageant. Yes, I won. I went to the pageant and I actually won as top five. I'm the only nurse, and if you can see in the pictures, I'm the tallest on the left in the screen. I actually won the third runner up for Miss Malaysia Indian Global 2013, and I was a brand ambassador for that particular batch. Ever since that, I have actually pulled nursing into my life and become a volunteer. So I actually traveled all around the world, and this pageant has actually given me the title of Give Her with Life Fund Ambassador. This is back in Malaysia, and and this is what I've been doing. I come back to Singapore again, and I've been doing a lot of volunteering nursing in Singapore. So I went to these high-end people's houses and I will give them antibiotic. I don't really accept money, but I will eventually, if there is something that they could have offer me, I will take, because rezeki tu jangan ditolak. That's what we used to say and learned. Okay, and then yes, I took nursing as more into me, where I just don't want to explore nursing in just in Malaysia and Singapore, but I want to explore nursing all around the world. So I actually covered about 18 countries all around the world, and I actually went to a lot of places to help. To do some social services. So I actually didn't upload any social services picture here because it's very sensitive. But I can give you an example that I actually went to one of these country in Sri Lanka, Jaffna. I have been actually doing raising funds for these countries for Jaffna people, especially the young kids, to have proper school after the hit of tsunami. So I didn't get a chance to go to Jaffna, but through these teams and because I'm a nurse, I actually went as a volunteer nurse to went to the school and see how the people is doing. So I was very happy that nursing have allowed me to do what I can do. And I'm a person who loves to dress up, and I felt like along the way I've actually have a lot of clothes that I'm not being using it. So what I did on my birthday, I've actually sold my clothes to the public, and from the money that I actually fundraised, I've actually donated to one of these orphanages home in Penang. So these kids were really happy because they are orphan and they seldom receive any contribution from the public. And other than that, I this is in Cambodia. I actually raise fund through online, where I've used my background history as a nurses. And why am I doing it? Because I believe that water is an important tool in your daily life. And Cambodia, this particular area in Cambodia, has been receiving a very dirty waters. So I've actually installed 10 water filters in 10 different families, and I raise fund. These are the monies that public have actually given to me. I wouldn't have done this without the help of the public. So I managed to raise fund about USD $1,007. Other than that, I also have actually run for the blind peoples and the cancer society. And I also went back to do inspire and upgrade program, because I was actually chosen not because I'm good at it. I was actually chosen because I am a nurse, so I can actually deliver a lot of messages, and I can actually give them proper directions in how to
Yeah.
empower themselves and motivate themselves to be a better person.
Yeah, Harini, I think
Mm.
they miss to see your fundraising and your beautiful dress. You
Oh,
should
really?
show because you miss to press. Why not you press that part? Okay, some
Ah,
more. Where is it?
this.
Okay, that part. Okay, some more.
Oh, is it? Can
Yeah.
you see now?
Now the one you in Sri Lanka.
Oh, the Sri Lanka one is a bit sensitive, so I didn't
Yeah.
share
Okay.
that part. Okay. But
Okay.
the picture in Sri Lanka is somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
The picture
All
is.
your beautiful clothes, that's why your profile on your kebaya. I love to see your kebaya. Yeah.
Oh, there was. This one is here.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. So
Okay.
basically, yeah, that's about the journey that actually empowered me to be in nursing, and I'm actually doing more. It's just due to pandemic. I am stuck in Singapore, but nevertheless, I've been helping what I could in my hospital. So as a nurse, you have to be proud of yourself and believe that you have actually choose the right path, and have faith that nothing is impossible. Down the road, you'll be successful nurse. It takes time, so we have to give time sometimes. Be prepared, because the reality is going to hit you harder. This is basically for the young nurses or the upcoming nurses. This is just the hustle time of myself.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So this is where I actually collected all the tools, the smart tools and the leadership tools.
You keep that slide. I want to read. Very nice. The be proud of yourself.
Oh,
Which one?
thank
The
you.
be proud of yourself. Your
Oh, thank
last
you.
you you come back to that previous slide.
Yeah, I'm going there. This one.
Be proud of yourself. Believe that you are choosing the right path. Yes, you choose the right path, even though you are the beauty queen before. Yeah, have faith that nothing is impossible. Down the road, you will be a successful nurse. Yes, you are now. Be prepared
Thank you.
because the reality going to hit you harder. Okay,
True.
thank you, Harini, for your sharing.
Welcome, Prof.
Yeah, we
I
really are proud of you. You had, share your success story. You critically reflect on your professional journey and your style and what it means to you, and also you share your skill in facing the workplace challenges and your personal experience now. So you maybe you are finishing your master soon,
Yeah.
and something that they want to hear from you, how to navigate and continue their career path and embrace the lifelong learning. I know you still continue, and I'm happy to say that you want to pursue your PhD with Masa.
Yeah.
Welcome, welcome, Harini. Okay, thank you. Any
Thank you, Prof.
question? The audience, our audience can write at the chat box there at the Facebook comment. We will come back. We will join back to receive your comment, and I will get back to Harini. Thank you, Harini.
Thank you, Prof.
Yeah, okay. Let me introduce the third speaker. The third speaker today is Ochala. Ochala now in Nigeria. Good morning, Ochala. According to her, today is 24th, 7 hours different is 7:30 a.m. Ajura Ochala is a registered nurse, and she also a registered midwife, and she hold two certificate. One is registered nurse, and she also registered midwife. She also have passion in nursing and midwifery. Her goal is to give quality patient-centered care and improve herself in order to impact on younger nurses. She holds a Master of Nursing degree from MAHSA University in year 2020. Ochala currently works as a senior midwife in government hospital in Nigeria. Welcome, Ochala.
Hello, Prof. Good morning
Okay.
from Nigeria. It's nice to see your beautiful face again. I
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed my time with you while in Malaysia. By way of introduction, my name is Ejura Ochala. I'm a nurse, I'm a wife, I'm also a mother. I have three handsome boys that are grown ups now and a very loving and doting husband. I ventured into nursing due to the influence my mom had on me as a young girl while in junior college. I was really, really sick. I was admitted, and the love and the care she showed to me together with the nurse, I asked her, Mom, I want to be like you. And she encouraged me. And today I'm a nurse. I'm a fulfilled nurse, though I've not gotten to the pinnacle where I want to get to. But I believe that I'm working steadily at it. Though my mom is late now, I really, really look back and I enjoy all the love and support which I have gotten from her as a mother. Now, when I reflect on my professional journey, I would say the journey has been too slow yet steady. Slow in the sense that as a young nurse, I got into the profession without the required knowledge I would need to proceed. But then as I got into it, I never stopped asking. I started my diploma in nursing in 1996 at the FCT School of Nursing here in Nigeria. And while there, I got to know that I could go to the university. From there, I began to work on myself. At that very young age, I was determined to get to the peak. I said, if people could go to the university, and I learned that there are professors and doctors in nursing, I want to be like them. And so I went ahead to prepare myself to write JAM, to prepare again to get into the university. I couldn't get into it after my nursing, but then I continued because I wouldn't want to stop. I went in for my midwifery education, diploma in midwifery from the same school, and I graduated with very good grades. You know, one thing that is very beautiful about nursing is that you see the light and you keep following it. By the time you get distracted, you will miss out on the way. So many of my colleagues left out at nursing, at diploma. Some of us continue to diploma in midwifery, but then others have not proceeded forward. But then, due to the determination I have to become a very good nurse, a manager in nursing at that, I went on to get my degree at Ahmadu Bello University, a prestigious university in Nigeria here. And I spent 4 years. That is the reason why I said my journey has been slow yet steady. Considering the number of years that I spent doing nursing, diploma, and then midwifery, and then going on to spend another 4 years, which is to tell you how I love the profession. I wanted to be well grounded in the profession. And coming out, I had lecturers, I had mentors who had masters and who had PhD. And I said, these people don't have two heads. I think I need to go for it. And I also needed a blend of another environment. And that was why I applied into MAHSA University. And I was welcomed with wide open hands. My experience in MAHSA University was very beautiful. I loved the environment. The teaching staff were very, very supportive. For someone who had not gone out of her country or her environment for a very long time, coming out to where you receive so much love, it was a very beautiful experience for me, and it was gratifying that I felt like I had a home away from home. Even this morning, I told my husband that I'm going back to Malaysia this morning. So right now, I am in Malaysia and I'm enjoying the nasi lemak, the nasi, all the nasis in Malaysia. And then what kept me on in nursing is the love to provide patient-centered care. One thing is that patients, they come into you at their very feeble state. They are very down, and then they will need someone to support them, someone to love them, someone to care for them. So I see myself as being opportuned to provide this care, and I do not take it for granted. So with each patient I come in contact with, I do the very best to provide all the love, to provide all the support, to ensure that their medications are served right on time, not taking to chance anything that will bring about the deterioration in their condition. And that is my style of nursing, to provide what patient-centered care and to provide enough satisfaction to my patients so that by the time they leave, they keep calling back. Oh, nurse, I love your face. No, nurse, I love the care I received. Oh, nurse, you were such a helpful person. And it really, really gives me satisfaction. It gives me a lot of joy. Now, in my career as a nurse, I started after my graduation from a diploma in midwifery. I went on to work in a private organization where I spent like 10 years in 3 different private hospitals. And they groomed me a lot because I learned a lot about time management. I learned a lot about providing comprehensive care to the patient. And then I was exposed to a lot of machines, a lot of equipment, which were used to help in the care of this patient. And by the time I got to this hospital, this government hospital where I worked, I already had all the experience and all the knowledge which I had. So I now see myself as a very competent nurse. Currently, I work in the maternity unit. I work in the labor ward. And, I see myself as an opportune person to watch the births, the coming to life of a human being, and it is beautiful. It shows the magnificent work of God in our creation, and I do not take that for granted at all. My work is very, very sensitive because I am dealing with 2 lives, the mother and the baby, and at times it can be 3. So one thing that helps me to succeed is what I have developed: team spirit. I work as a team. In the healthcare industry, no nurse, no doctor, no particular healthcare professional can have the monopoly of knowledge. You come together, you draw your skills, you draw your knowledge, you draw your competence in order to provide the best of care to the patient. So that is my strength. I ensure that I carry other people along as a senior nurse, working closely with my manager in the unit. We ensure that our unit works as a collective whole. You know, all doctors, all healthcare assistants, all our pharmacists, the cleaners together. We our goal is to ensure that the patient comes out fine. She has a live bed. She is safe. She is sound. Her baby is also safe. And that is what we do in our hospital. And I take so much pride in it, because working as a leader in that setting is very, very sensitive. Sometimes they might want to look at you as, oh, she wants to show off. But then you cannot speak without acting, because action, I believe, speaks louder than voice. So by the time you are proactive, you're always on time, you are there for the patient, you are ensuring that all the supplies in the unit are right on time and they are in good quantities, and all the equipment are in working condition. You see that your work flows seamlessly, and it is so beautiful. At the end of the day, you go home, I go home, I feel satisfied that yes, I have conducted or have watched the birthing of a baby, and I have seen that the mother is fine, the baby is also doing very, very well. Now, talking about the challenges I face in my workplace, the first amongst them is staff shortage. It is a very common problem all over the world, and especially in our government hospitals. You know, you find out that sometimes you're on duty, you have to attend to so many patients who have competing needs, who have very sensitive needs, and then you have to be at your best. You know, as a nurse who has had this focus of providing patient-centered care, you will not want to do anything to jeopardize the life of your patient and to bring down the image of your profession, of your organization. So staff shortage is one very big challenge we face in our organization. And then we are working hard. We are talking to the leadership of the hospitals together with the union. You know, we are working at ensuring that we have more hands, because if we don't have more hands at the hospital, you know, the patients suffer. You as a healthcare professional, you also suffer. And so we are hoping that very soon the situation will be better. And then closely following that is the work overload. This is really, really affecting a lot of our nurses. And then you find out that the migration rate is really increasing. A lot of people are finding their way out of the system due to the workload. But then once you have your focus, you keep at it, you work at it, and you do your bits. By the time the next person does her bits, you know, the work will flow seamlessly. Another challenge which we have also is interprofessional rivalry. You know, by the time I came back from MAHSA with my master's degree, you know, there are a lot of questions. You've gone to get your master's, so what are you coming to do by the bedside? You know, we need nurses who have this knowledge, who have this skill, who have this competence in order to train the younger nurses. You know, the rivalry is there. They feel you're competing with them, but that is not it. You as a nurse, you have your line of action, and then the doctors have theirs, and then their health assistants, they have theirs as well. So what I do with facing this is to ensure that we work together, to be a patient listener, communicate. You know, you don't place yourself as maybe as a threat. They see you as a threat, but you, because of the knowledge, because of the experience you have, you don't see yourself as a threat. Rather, you see yourself as a helper to carry everyone along. And then another challenge which we have in the profession right now is low wage. Compared to the volume of work, compared to the mental tax you have to carry out, the low wages we face, we receive, is nothing compared to the work which we carry out. But then you have a calling. I have a calling. I do not at any point in time allow that to get to me. So how keep do I keep myself on top of all of these challenges? Is to remain motivated. First thing I do is to self-motivate. I believe that if as an individual you cannot motivate yourself, there is nothing that the outside, your workplace or your environment, your colleague will do that will be able to motivate you. First and foremost, I motivate myself. I look at my goals. I say, this is what I want to achieve. Money is not everything. The satisfaction that I receive from caring for my patient, the comments, the little comments from my colleagues, the little comments from my patients keeps me going. And so I self-motivate myself. And then on a daily basis, before going to work, there is this preparation which I make on a daily basis. Yes, I am going to work today. I have something, a goal which I am going to achieve. And so I prepare myself both physically, morally, and emotionally. Because at times you get to work, the situation you find on ground might demoralize you. But by the time you have prepared yourself from home, you get to work, you surmount all of those challenges. And then there is this attitude which I have adopted, which is continuous learning. By the time you continue to learn, you look at every situation, you use it as a yardstick to measure what you already know and then where you are getting to. It helps you to keep learning. Just 2 days back, I finished an online course on ECG, an introductory aspect of ECG. Though I am not in that field, but then I was faced with having to educate a patient who went for ECG. So what do? I have to go back myself and learn it. So continuous learning is an attribute that every nurse must adopt. You must not sit down until you get to the four walls of the classroom before you get education. Thank God for the pandemic. It has brought good, it has also brought a lot of bad. But then we must not look at the bad aspect that people can no longer gather together in a classroom to learn effectively. There are a lot of online resources for nurses to take advantage of. So I enjoin all nurses, all junior nurses, students, and even workers to go online, learn something at least every week or every 2 weeks, despite the tightness of your schedule. You should be able to say, oh, I have learned something. I have added to knowledge. Because on a daily basis, things are improving. Technology is changing the world. We cannot remain the gallipot nurses that we used to be. When I was in school, then they used to call the old matrons, oh, these are the gallipot nurses. No, we are no longer gallipot nurses. We have the knowledge, we have the skill. Knowledge, internet has brought everything close to us. And then as nurses, we must not relent, because that is one thing that other healthcare professionals are using to slight us. Because by the time you are done with your degree or you're done with your diploma, most of us drop our books and we do not go back to it again. And then there are these young nurses that are coming up. Recently, we had a lot of nurse interns who were allowed to come into the hospital. You can see that these nurses are coming now with fresh ideas. So I take advantage of them. I take advantage in the sense that I communicate with them. I sit down with them. What is this condition? Can we discuss it? What are the nursing management? What are the nursing actions? How can you improve on it? By the time they share their ideas, their knowledge, and then I give my experience, it blends. And then both of us, we go home satisfied, having learned something from each other. Now, as a manager, based on my master's degree, which I got from MAHSA recently, I have learned something, which is to reflect on practice. As an individual, if you do not look back on your action to know where you have gone wrong, to know how you can improve on yourself, then there is no learning. So daily I keep a record. I wasn't doing that before. I am so proud of MAHSA, which of MAHSA I learned this from MAHSA, and I am doing this very, very well. Thanks to Prof. Derek, thanks to all the beautiful and handsome lecturers there. It helps you to improve on practice. It has helped me to improve on my practice, to go back to some of these conditions. Oh, this is what I did. Okay, how would I have done it better? Now, what is the latest trend? Now what nursing is talking about: evidence. You must have evidence for every of your action which you are carrying out. If there is no evidence, then why are you doing it? How does it benefit your patient? How does it improve your profession? How does it improve you as an individual? So this is one of the criteria that I use to improve on myself on a daily basis. Another thing which has helped me thus far in my profession is listening. I am not very fast at speaking. I love to listen. And then by the time I listen, I ruminate on what I have heard and then bring out my point. A very good listener will be a good communicator. By the time you listen to your clients, you listen to your colleagues, you listen to your seniors, there is something which they are saying, which if you do not listen, you will miss out. So I take that as a very useful skill. I carry it along on a daily basis. And then this helps me also in my communication with my clients, with my subordinates, with my seniors. They find out that Nurse Ochala is not always talking, she's always listening and smiling. Yes, that is what has helped me. And then it moves me along because I get your point of view, and then from there I know where I am coming from. I know where I can help you, to improve on your practice. That is a very useful skill which has helped me. And then to remain a professional is my style. Nurses are wonderful professionals. We must not at any point discard this skill which we have, carrying along the ethics of the profession. It keeps us at the top. Not everybody who puts on the white uniform, who wears a cap or attends to patients, that is a nurse. There are a lot of imposters, there are a lot of pretenders in the profession right now. However, we can remain at the top by being professional, by carrying out our duties diligently, ensuring that there is proper documentation of records, ensuring that the patient gets the drugs as at when due, ensuring that everything concerning the patient is well recorded, bearing in mind the number of litigations we are having about our patients, about our practice right now. We must not, as nurses, take that for granted. You have to watch your back by being what? By being professional. And another skill which has helped me in my professional journey is to be a patient advocate. As I mentioned earlier, most times the patient comes to you, she is not in a right frame of mind to make decisions. She's in so much pain. How do you advocate for her? Like I work in a government hospital, sometimes patients will come to you, there is no money to buy drugs. She has not taken her drugs as at when due. She cannot pay for investigations. So what do? You have to advocate for them. Solicit for funds. Call in the social welfare department who can assist these patients in order to ensure that they are well. Together we can achieve more. If you don't have these systems in place, if you are not functioning actively in this place, not all healthcare professionals want to advocate for their patients. But as a nurse, being a nurse, a patient advocate, you must stand for them and then ensure that they get the best care as much as possible. So now, what is my last word? My word to everyone is, stay with the system that supports you. I have enjoyed working with MAHSA, and that is why I am on this platform today. And forever, I remain loyal and dedicated to MAHSA. Stay with the system that supports you. Anything that supports you. Nothing supports you. Nothing supports you to achieve your goal stay with it. As I have stayed with nursing this far, so many of my colleagues have left the profession. They've gone to greener pastures, but I believe I can make an impact where I am. So stay with the system that supports you and support the system in order to ensure that it works. And you can be the best that you can. How do you become the best you can? By putting your best. If you fail to try, then you have failed. Until you try, you keep trying, you cannot succeed. So you must keep putting on your best as nurses, as students, as individuals, until you say our last breath. Nursing remains paramount. Thank you very much for the time. Hello, Prof.
Thank you, Ochala. Thank you so much. I still remember how your contribution towards our open day, our nurses day. You talk to our young nurses, and I like what you said just now. You have principle of self motivate. That mean self instinct. That mean how you motivate yourself. You look up your goal. That is how it's very very important, and the satisfactory come from what you receive the feedback. But the most important what you said is because the current practice, as the quality gurus and all those management gurus said, what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. So that is what you are mentioning about change. And you also mentioned about how important of planning. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So planning is very important. Actually, we have some question, but we will encourage them to put in the chat box, in the comment. Later, you also can join to give your feedback in the Facebook comment Ochala. And thank you so much for
Thank you.
your time today. I know it's 7 hours different, and
Mm.
you also in the morning we have to be prepared in the morning, and today we also continue with our vaccine center at national level serving the nation. Thank you so much, Ochala,
Thank
and
you
God
so
bless you.
much. Thank you,
Bye
Prof.
bye. Yeah.
Thank you, Harini, most beautiful lady. I wonder why I didn't meet you in MAHSA. I hope we can meet once more. You're so
Yeah.
beautiful, and I'm
She's
proud
the
of you. Maybe we can become friends on Facebook so we chat more, okay?
yes, yes. That
Thank
is
you.
good.
Thank you, Prof. I'm
Thank you. Bye bye.
grateful.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you to all the speakers. Unfortunately, we are unable to connect to Peggy because of some internet problem. We will have our next webinar in this alumni series, the fourth episode, inshallah. And I would like to remind everyone, if you have any question, you can always put in the chat box and in the Facebook comment. The organizing committee will be able to respond to you. With that note, thank you again, and we pray everything will be over with this pandemic, inshallah. Sekian, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.